People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't want to be here. This is where I want to be.
Remember when Sheryl Swoopes said no one wants to come to Indiana? Well, Kelsey Mitchell just shut that down. In her first interview since training camp began, Mitchell didn't hold back, calling out Swoopes and setting the record straight with a truth bomb that left those comments looking foolish.
Us, with the new atmosphere, new coaching, everything is just absolutely new. It feels really good. It feels fresh. It's kind of like when you take your clothes out the dryer, kind of like fresh. It feels different, and it feels good because we have new leadership, we got new players, we got vet leadership, and so I think all that combined just makes for a good atmosphere right now.
This interview blows the lid off everything Sheryl Swoopes got wrong about the Indiana Fever. From false claims about veterans avoiding the team, to suggesting Kelsey Mitchell was unhappy, and even downplaying Indiana's and Caitlin Clark's dominance, it all gets dismantled. The real footage tells a different story. Watch as Mitchell, Clark, and Coach Christie Side shut down every false narrative that's been floating around, especially the ones coming from Swoopes. If you're riding with the Fever, drop a fired up for the Fever in the comments. Ready? Let's get into it.
Remember this time last year, it didn't feel good, so we have to get that in order first, for people to start playing well. It's like the domino effect. But I think once your culture is kind of established, how you guys see it now, I think it makes everything else way easier. I don't know if that makes.
Let's set the record straight about Kelsey Mitchell and the Indiana Fever. When Sheryl Swoopes spoke on the Queens of the Court podcast, she claimed Mitchell was unhappy and unappreciated, painting a picture of a fractured locker room and veterans avoiding the team. But Mitchell's recent interview tells a very different story, one filled with excitement, team chemistry, and real optimism about the future of the Fever.
Personally, here's where I think they did do a very good job, and that was with Kelsey Mitchell, who's an unrestricted free agent, because Kelsey Mitchell had a hell of a season this season, and I don't think she got the credit that she deserved.
The first thing you notice when watching Kelsey Mitchell speak is her undeniable energy. There's a genuine spark in her eyes and a smile that feels real, not rehearsed or staged. When asked about the upcoming season, she doesn't rely on cliches or carefully worded responses. Instead, she leans in, fully engaged, her excitement practically radiating through the screen.
I think the best part right now is everyone wants to be here. It's really downplayed. It sounds cliche, but it's nothing like being where you want it and everybody feels value in order to go have a good training camp, have a good preseason, so you can have a good first game when the season starts. But I think right now, it's just that good feeling of everybody feel like, hey, I want to be here and I want to compete. So I think that's the first.
I think the best part right now is everyone wants to be here, Mitchell says with conviction, directly refuting Swoopes' narrative of discontent. And this isn't just polished PR talk, you can hear the sincerity in her voice. She goes on to explain how that shared commitment builds a culture where players challenge each other to grow every day. That's not the mindset of someone who feels undervalued or is eyeing the exit, it's the voice of a leader locked in and fired up.
It's been like adjusting to Stephanie White and I guess that culture you're talking about.
Oh man, I have nothing but great things to say about Stephanie. From the time I was in China playing and her trying to get me back here, and the leadership that she took to make sure I felt welcome and felt safe coming back and playing under her. She's done an unbelievable job with all of us one by one and making sure we all feel different but in a good way.
What stands out most is Mitchell's focus on the team's fresh start. She speaks glowingly about the new energy surrounding the organization, giving special credit to the leadership changes that have breathed new life into the franchise. Her excitement peaks when she talks about how these shifts have fostered a more positive, forward-looking culture, one that has the entire team believing in what's ahead.
Culture. And I think once you establish the respect in the room, the environment is always is value with that. I think those days that are tough that you do have to give grace for, it's respect behind it. We don't expect perfection right now, but we do expect discipline and we expect hard work. So if we can cultivate that and then give ourselves some grace when it's time to go win games, I think we will.
When the conversation shifts to the veteran players joining the Fever, like Dana Bonner and Natasha Howard, Mitchell's face lights up. She describes how their experience and championship mindset have elevated practice sessions, bringing a new level of focus and intensity. Having veterans who choose to come here and share their knowledge changes everything, she explains, effortlessly dismantling Swoopes' claim that seasoned players avoid Indiana.
Yeah, I think that your DBs, your Sophies, and even like Sid, it's like a wild card because they won and they know it on different levels. You got to think Sid Colson was maybe started on the bench but had to go get minutes, and she won a championship. And then it was the same with Natasha Howard. It's the same with DB. So we get a different leadership of vets that came. It's going to teach us how to win. So it's pretty fun.
Just watch Mitchell's body language throughout the interview. Does she seem like someone who feels unappreciated? Quite the opposite. When she talks about her teammates, her hands move with excitement, and spontaneous smiles light up her face. There's a sense of ease and confidence in her demeanor that says more than words ever could about how she truly feels being part of this team.
I think that mix of leadership that we have from your DBs, so Tosh Howard and Sid, it's going to help ease things out based on the people that's coming around to see us. But I also think that it do helps us. Let me say this. Before we got here a month ago, we were all coming in. We would come from our respective homes to establish that already. And so I think that 5, we've established that like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It might have been open run, it might have just working out, but we've already kickstarted how we want to play and here so we could do it.
Mitchell's take on building a winning culture is especially insightful. She makes it clear that success isn't just about stacking talent, it's about developing chemistry that shows up on the court. We're learning to play together, to understand each other's strengths, she says. That's how you build something sustainable. These aren't the words of a disgruntled player, they're the thoughtful reflections of someone deeply invested in long-term success.
The moment I met Caitlin and the moment she met me, like I said, when you respect your teammates and respect as competitors, it makes for a better relationship. It makes for a better dynamic. And I think that me and C Square established that 2 years ago now. So I think everything with us is going to always be kosher and really put together because we've already established who we were as people and as players and how we can help make each other better. So it feels good to me.
Perhaps the most telling blow to Swoopes' narrative is this: Kelsey Mitchell chose to return to the Fever. Actions speak louder than speculation, and her decision to stay says more than any podcast ever could. When asked about playing alongside Caitlin Clark, there's no hint of resentment or tension, only mutual respect. Mitchell highlights how their contrasting styles complement each other, creating more opportunities for everyone on the court. It's clear, this isn't a fractured team, it's one building something together.
I think their strength for one is always, from a physical standpoint, her strength and her ability to now make plays that people don't think about. Whether it's that skip to skip. I mean, you know, a person of her caliber, it seems small, but it's going to make her go from having 25 to having 28 or 10 assists to 12 assists. So for one, her strength, and then after that, professional, learning, you know, watching film, you know, knowing what you need. And I think that's going to take time for her specifically, but the rest is for her is already in the bag. I think strength is always going to be a main thing.
Mitchell's genuine enthusiasm for the team's future becomes most apparent when she talks about their shared goals. "We're building something special here," she says with conviction. "I want to be part of that." The passion in her voice when discussing the Fever's prospects completely dismantles any idea that she feels sidelined or unhappy. There's something special brewing in Indiana, and Caitlin Clark is approaching it with a mindset that will silence her critics. While Sheryl Swoopes confidently predicted Clark would struggle to adjust to the professional game, Clark's own words reveal a rookie who fully understands what it takes to succeed at the highest level.
WNBA MVPs in your career, would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't. Bro, Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is dominant.
Yeah, I mean, that was like my biggest focus in the offseason is just trying to get stronger and really working on that. And really thankful for Sarah, our strength and conditioning coach, like put in a lot of time with me, and we were in here consistently. Like I think that was the biggest thing for myself is just having that consistency to be able to work on it for 6 months or whatever it was. So I certainly feel a lot stronger, and you know, I'm a pretty self-aware person. I knew that was going to be a huge part of it, and you know, it's going to help me offensively. It's going to help me defensively. It's going to help me not get as tired throughout games. So yeah, definitely one of the focus points of my off season is just getting stronger. And, you know, even through these 2 practices, like I can certainly feel it. Well, I think the biggest benefit, you know, obviously there's the aspect of having a new coach and a lot of new teammates. So in that regard, like it's still a learning process and trying to figure your teammates out and figure out the new system. But the pace and the physicality and all of that, you're used to it. You're ready for it. You're ready for at the speed of how things are going to move. I think that having that under your belt is kind of what's helped me the most here. But at the same time, like it's a learning process for all of us. There's, you know, most of the team here and most of the girls here are new players. So and the ones that have come back, you know, new coach, we're we're just trying to learn in the same way and build relationships with our teammates. So similar in that regard, but at the same time, you know, having a year under my belt is really helpful. I don't think anybody's trying to be alpha. Like everybody's trying to be a good listener and be there for your teammates. It's how do you find the balance of doing both? How do you speak up and be a great leader, but at the same time, how do you listen and how do you get better? And I think it all speaks to like the relationships that you have with your teammates. Is like you got to go out of your way to build those. So when something goes wrong or you have to hold somebody accountable, they know it's coming in the best interest of the team. So I think it just starts with building relationships, getting to know your teammates. But at the same time, we have so much great personality on this team. That's what's going to make it fun. That's what fans are going to love and to watch about us. We're going to have a lot of fun playing basketball, and you know, you embrace that about your teammates as well. I think the vibes are really good, and that's what's really fun about it. Like, you know, obviously we're probably not in the heat of battle yet. I mean, we're out here competing with one another, but at the same time, like everybody's here supporting one another and having fun and enjoying it. And I think that's what's cool about it. I used to playing basketball for basically a year of my life. That's all I did. So the rest was certainly great. And, you know, I thought it was going to feel long. It really didn't. It felt really short. Like we played a lot of pickup. We were in here all the time. I was in here with Keith all the time. Had teammates coming in and out all off season working with me and wanting to get better. So, you know, like I said, I thought it would feel kind of long and drag a little bit, but it goes way quicker than you think. But that rest aspect for myself, just, you know, getting my body where it needed to be and really working on things that I needed to work on was super important. But I'm ready to compete again, so I'm excited.